Good morning, grade 10 students, section ZOUS. Before anything else, let's start our discussion today by identifying the inventors of some pictures of inventions that I have prepared for you today. First picture, the telephone. Who invented the telephone? A. Alexander Graham Bell. B. Antonio Meucci. The answer is Alexander Graham Bell. Did you get it right, students? Second picture, the printing press. Who invented the printing press? A. Johann Gutenberg. B. Friedrich Kienige. The answer is Johann Gutenberg. Now for our last picture, I'll give you more time for this. Third picture is the labyrinth. Labyrinth is a secret passage or a chamber commonly known as a maze. Now, who invented a labyrinth? The answer is Daedalus. Did you get it right? Our activity earlier has a connection on what will I discuss today. In Greek mythology, Daedalus was a great inventor. He was known as a skillful craftsman and an architect seen as a symbol of wisdom, knowledge, and power. He was the father of Icarus. So basically, this story that I will discuss to you is focused on the father and son Daedalus and Icarus. Are you familiar with the myth Daedalus and Icarus? If not, in this lesson, you will learn more about the father and son in this myth. Now, I have here a video presentation about the myth. Now, I want you to listen carefully and understand the story because later you will answer some questions and do some activities. You understand, class?
Once upon a time, a long time ago, there lived a man named Daedalus and his young son, Icarus. Daedalus was an inventor and a skilled craftsman. He created wonderful mechanical creations and built architectural marvels. One day, King Minos invited Daedalus to the island of Crete. The king asked him to build a huge maze for his beloved pet, the Minotaur. A Minotaur was a monstrous creature who was half man and half bull. Daedalus worked day and night along with his son to build the labyrinth. He made it so complicated that anyone who entered the maze would get lost for eternity. He was such a fine architect. When the labyrinth was ready, the king was amazed at Daedalus' skills and rewarded him. Daedalus and Icarus decided to stay on the island for some more days. It was during this time that a group of children arrived at Crete. They sailed away the next day, taking the king's daughter with them, and they had killed the Minotaur too. King Minos was stricken with grief. He believed Daedalus helped the children, as there was no other way they could get out of the maze alive. But Daedalus was innocent, and he had no clue about what happened. The king punished Daedalus and Icarus by keeping them as prisoners on the island of Crete. The father and son were helpless. How could they ever get out of this island without the ships? One day, Daedalus noticed the birds flying in the air. Wings, Daedalus thought. He knew he needed wings to escape from the island. From that day, they both began to gather all the bird feathers they could find. Daedalus glued them together with wax, one by one. After many days of hard work, Daedalus finished making 2 pairs of wings. He then decided that it was time to escape from the island. He called Icarus and gave him instructions. You must never fly too close to the sun, as the wax may melt. Fly too close to the ocean, and your wings will become too heavy with water that sprays off the waves. Icarus nodded in agreement. They flapped their wings, and wonder of wonders, they rose up in the air. They flew up in the air, and when they looked back, they could see the island of Crete far behind them. Icarus was excited, and he flew higher and higher. "Stop, or the wax will melt," Daedalus shouted when he saw Icarus flying close to the sun. But Icarus was too far away, or too lost in his own happy thoughts of excitement to listen to his father's warnings. Before soon, the sun began to melt the wax and feathers started falling off. "Help me!" shouted Icarus. But before Daedalus could reach his son, Icarus started falling. Poor Icarus plunged into the water and drowned. Daedalus landed as quickly as he could on the beach near where Icarus had fallen. But the only sign of his son was a few feathers floating in the waves. He named the island Icaria in memory of his son. On the beach where he landed, he built a temple to the sun god Apollo, and inside it hung the wings he had created, vowing never to fly again.
Alright class, did you manage to take down notes some of the important events and characters in the myth? Now to further elaborate the story, we will now break down by answering some of the questions. First is, what is the main event of the story? Daedalus was asked by King Minos to build a labyrinth to imprison his pet, which is the Minotaur. Minotaur, which is a half bull and a half man. And Daedalus successfully completed the task. However, King Minos was afraid that Daedalus will reveal the secret of the labyrinth. So, he imprisoned Daedalus and Icarus to the island of Crete. However, Daedalus, being a clever inventor, he decided to escape from the island by building 2 pairs of wings for himself and for his son. He warned Icarus not to fly too close to the sun. However, Icarus was overexcited that he flew too high. The heat from the sun melted the wax that held the wings together. And the result is, he fell down to the sea and drowned. Now for our second question, what is the theme of the story? That is disobedience. Because Icarus disobeyed the advice of his father that leads him to death. Right, class? Now for our third question, who ordered Daedalus to build a labyrinth? That is King Minos. But why? Why did he order Daedalus to create that labyrinth? What is the creature that King Minos owned that lives in the labyrinth? That is the half bull and the half human Minotaur. For your activity, answer the following questions in a 1/2 sheet of paper crosswise. For your activity, answer the following questions in a 1/2 sheet of paper crosswise. You just need to write down the characters, their actions in the story, and of course, the consequences of their actions. And you will submit it to our group chat. Now, who are the characters in the story? It is Daedalus, Icarus, King Minos, and of course, the Minotaur. How about the setting of the story? It is the island of Crete. Now, what is the invention of Daedalus that they used to escape in the island of Crete? That is the improvised 2 pairs of wings that used by Daedalus and Icarus to escape from the island. And what was the direction of Daedalus to Icarus? That is, he said not to fly too close to the sun or else the wax will melt. However, Icarus disobeyed the advice of his father, and what happened to him? He fell down and drowned. You see, class, it is similar to our parents' advice to us. At some point, they know what is best for us, and most of the time, they are correct. For 1 whole sheet of paper, write a reflection and relate your experiences about this statement. How Daedalus' caution and careful planning led to his successful escape, while Icarus' disobedience led to his tragic demise. For your assignment, with your previous group in the last activity, brainstorm a list of modern-day inventions that you consider to be important and impactful. Discuss how these inventions have changed the world and how they might have consequences, both negative and positive. Prepare a presentation, and it should include a minimum of 5 inventions per group. And this activity, you will be graded with this criteria: organization 15%, content 45%, and presentation 40%, with a total of 100%. You will submit this activity and present it to our actual class next week. And also, kindly advance read the Greek mythology about Otus and Ephialtes. List down the important events in the myth and prepare for a graded recitation next meeting after your report. If you have clarifications or any part of the myth that you do not understand, you are free to raise it to our actual class next week. I hope you learned something to our discussion today. Have a nice day.